Hey there, and thanks for tuning in today. My name is Mandy Freilich, and I am the founder of Black Hills Financial Planning. I am also a licensed agent as a financial investment advisor. And for the first 10 years of my career, I actually worked in the holistic healing industry as a chef and holistic nutritionist and a body worker as well too. So I have a very different background when it comes to approaching financial wellness, which I think is actually somewhat of a blessing, particularly for people who are already interested in creating better health and are looking into things like exercise, eating well, and more mindfulness techniques. Now, today I really want to, keep that in mind as we discuss a different angle of financial wellness that I don't think really gets talked about enough. And that is our personal relationship with money. Now, I can tell you that when I was growing up, I did not understand the relationship that money and the exchange of energy is all about. I kind of thought that it grew on trees. And there's a really embarrassing story where I used to steal from my dad and then just kind of lie about it to get away from that. And eventually I kind of realized, this form of currency and how I was hurting people around me by not being honest about it. And then this huge, lifelong career happened in the sense of it all relates when money is a big barrier to us being able to cultivate lives we love. So I learned at a very young age that, there's more to money than just having it and spending it. There is a relationship that surrounds our approach to money. And more often than not, that is conditioned or taught to us from a young age. What I mean by that is some folks who grow up in families where their parents are very diligent about tracking budgets and spending and try very hard to keep within that budget will probably pick up those habits and become adults that also prioritize that way of spending as well. On the contrary side, and this is much more common, unfortunately, is family members or guardians who don't track anything they spend, kind of just write checks or spend hoping it's in there, and then at the month's end kind of cross their fingers and hope that there's still a little bit left. So there are two main approaches to it, and similar to the example of someone who grows up with that really strong example, folks who maybe don't have a lot of financial wellness instruction will not develop good relationships with it. Furthermore, based on our experiencing with it, we have different mentalities on what money is and how we attract it. So someone who sees their parents grow up just always trying to get enough money and there never seems to be enough, they might develop a mentality that money is difficult to get, that money doesn't come easy to them, that even though someone works really hard, that they're just unable to get the money they need and might not have an actual full picture of how and why that person spends and how they're relating to it, but develops those internal thought patterns essentially that steer them on a certain path of thinking that they can get money or it's hard or it's easy. And therein lies the entire framework, I think, of how we approach financial wellness. So it would be really easy, I think, to just dive into, here's how you create a budget and here's how you stick to that budget and here are some different financial investment options. But I think we have to begin at the beginning and really think about critically what is our own individual relationship to money. Do we feel, and I'm going to ask you some questions, we'll do this instead. Does money come easy to you? Does it feel like you can never get enough money? Or does it feel like you do a pretty good job of making ends meet? Do you feel that people who are rich are inherently mean? Do you feel that people who are poor are more deserving of money? And we could go on and on and on. But these are some of the initial questions that I want you to think about as you start to begin to develop a perception, I suppose, of your relationship with money now and to where it's going to be as you continue to listen to these videos and potentially work with me as well too. So that foundation is really important to give attention to. But the next thing we need to do is understand where do we want to go. So let's say that someone has a relationship with money where they think it's very difficult to get it. I never seem to have enough, and I must not be good at attracting it, or I might not be good enough to be able to attract it. those are statements, neither true nor false, but like with most things in this life, what we believe is typically what we attract and create. So my challenge to you is to really consider what those mental thought patterns are towards money. And I want you to consider what it would feel like to instead think of some of these different thoughts that I want to throw out there. It is easy for me to accept, to earn, and attract money. Does that cause like a weird tingling in your body? Does it feel right? Take note. How does that feel to you? When I need it, abundance is there. I am constantly attracting abundance. I am a money magnet. Money comes to me because I allow it to. I am capable of attracting all of the goodness that I need in my life. Abundance is all around me. And I really want to take a note to talk specifically on the topic of abundance, because financial abundance is one component of that, but abundance is having what you need when you need it. And I think that when we approach financial wellness, that's where the goal honestly needs to be. It's never about the money. Money is an exchange of energy. Money is a means to an end. And in reality, we don't want a means to an end. We want the end goal. So we need to shift our perspective to stop thinking that we need money to get what we need, and instead understand that there are millions of ways what we deeply want can come to be. Money is just one path to it. When we stop wanting it so much and we stop seeing it as the only way to get to that end goal rather than a means goal, our perception can begin to shift. And then from there, we can get slightly different footing when reflecting on that relationship to money. Maybe there's a subconscious belief that it's difficult to attract what you want, and money is just the byproduct of that. It can bring about a lot. And today is more of just a philosophical discussion, honestly, about our relationships to money. And it's more about just planting some seeds for you to begin to think about how you relate to it. So let me know your thoughts on this one. I think this is a good place for us to start in terms of having a discussion about attracting abundance, attracting what we need, and really understanding how we are approaching our journey to financial wellness so that we're more equipped to understand how we can adapt our approach as we move on. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I invite you to come check out my website. It's blackhillsfinancialplanning.com. And there's a lot of free information on there. I have a free ebook that you can download if you're interested in understanding more about business and branding. And you can always reach out to me with any questions. I do plenty of one-on-one consultations and work with clients to help them meet both their business and financial goals. So thank you and have a great day.